car from Tema, from Takrade back to Bosomefem. And for me, it was so interesting. We just have to pay 50 pesos, and then the deduction is done. So I send the memo to their numbers, and then they do it and verify their name without moving to Bosomefem. And that's amazing.
That's great.
That's amazing. Yeah. And this man needs to be given an opportunity.
Yeah.
He's made a lot of things so simple, so cost effective, so cost efficient. And I don't see how Ghanaians will miss this opportunity. I don't see how Ghanaians will miss this opportunity. So we are all waiting and hoping, and we know that after tonight, a lot of the doubters, a lot of the people who feel that, well, I'm not so certain, I'm not so clear, will be cleared in their minds. I mean, tonight, it will be crystal clear delivery. I mean, the policies will be well explained. The brain behind the policies will be out and clear. Okay. I mean, there will not be any repetition. Yeah. There will not be any, there are times, I don't want to mention anything, but I felt that, there are people who don't even know what they're about.
Yeah.
And it appears as though the manifesto was prepared for them. Hey, go and say this. Say it like this. And I think about it and I go like, wow. But this is a man who, from day one, has his own policy, has his own drive, has his own clear-cut vision. And that is what Ghana needs now. So for me, I am excited, and good timing for all of us, because I think this is a season for manifesto.
Yeah.
This is a period and season for manifesto. Yeah. So all the manifestos will be put on the table, on the chopping board, and then we will discuss it from tomorrow.
Thank you so much for showing up for this engagement. All the good news in essence, from the
I get it.
All right. So thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm Akbar Khomeini, the Deputy Communications Director of the campaign.
Okay, all right, Akbar. So what is your overall view on the Vice President's manifesto?
Of course, it is a manifesto which focuses heavily on business and jobs.
All right.
These are the two important issues in the life of our nation at this particular time. And so therefore, anybody seeking to be president would have to prioritize these two. Businesses are interested in opportunities to be able to grow, especially coming on the heels of a global pandemic, as well as Putin's aggression in Ukraine, which has had an impact on businesses across the world. So businessmen and women are looking for an opportunity to be able to expand their operations. And therefore, if you want to be president, you must have a clear policy proposal to addressing the needs of businessmen. In our country, youth unemployment is a major issue, notwithstanding this government's impressive record in the last 7 years. You would agree with me that in 7 years we have successfully recruited some 2.3 million young people. I think a little above 1.3 million in the public sector and about 800,000 in the private sector. But notwithstanding this impressive performance, unemployment is still an issue. Every year, young men and women leave our universities and they are looking for jobs. So anybody wanting to be supported in the December elections must have a clear plan on how to address the problem of unemployment. And I think that basically that is what the NPP manifesto does. It focuses more on business, it focuses on elevating the private sector as a priority in government vision. And so as far as I'm concerned, it is an excellent manifesto. It addresses the fundamental problems of our country.
Okay, so what are your expectations for tonight?
The vice president and flag bearer of the NPP is a very intelligent man. I mean, his intelligence is undoubted. Even his fiercest critics they have no difficulty in admitting that he's a very intelligent man. So I expect a display of that intelligence. I expect him to answer the questions satisfactorily. I expect that at the end of the day, we would leave here very, very convinced that the Vice President and flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party is the man for the nation.
Okay. That clearly shows that Bawumia means business.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you very much for showing up.
I'm most
we are
grateful.
grateful.
Thank you.
My name is Gracia Ajaman, and we have here with me
Haruna Mohammed, Deputy General Secretary, New Patriotic Party.
For the New Patriotic Party. Okay, so would want to know, what are your impressions on the Vice President?
On his manifesto, or him as a person?
Him as a person.
The Vice President is a humble man.
Okay.
He's a man of integrity.
All right.
He has changed a lot when it comes to politics in Ghana. Since 2008 to date, he has changed the dynamism when it comes to political activities within the landscape of Ghana's democracy. So he has been somebody that has been very phenomenal. He has been a most contributing factor to the success of this party, and I am not surprised that he's the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party at this point in time.
Okay. So on his manifesto, what are some of the policies that excite you most?
There are a lot of policies that excite me because he's very passionate about what he wants to do. Most of the policies that are put out are engineered by himself.
Okay.
Looking at where we are today in terms of the global perspective, we need people who have the IT scope, the IT background, to be able to drive the economy. And for him to strand on our economy on digitalization, and to get over 1 million youth to be trained on digital skills that will be able to provide a lot of opportunities for a Ghanaian citizen. Job has been the major aspect of our life that affects us, and I think that training 1 million youth in ICT will have direct and indirect effect on the youth of this country. So many of them will have the opportunity to establish their own businesses, sit at home and work, and will also engage. So it's going to have a replicate effect. I'm from the north, and I believe that agriculture is a major activity. His vision on agriculture is very phenomenal. He has expressed himself in terms of how he wants to drive agriculture to be able to secure food security for this country. And I think that as a farmer myself and a politician, I believe that his activities is going to inure to the benefit of the good citizens of Ghana. And I will be a very bigger beneficiary of that.
Okay, the future is really exciting. I am ready. I don't know about you, but obviously...
I am super ready.
Okay.
I am super ready. Sure. And I am very convinced, whatever this takes, Dr. Bawumia will be the President of the Republic of Ghana.
Okay, interesting. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Have a Gen Z here this evening, or you're a millennial?
I mean, that's brackets where nobody wants to accept
Nobody wants to accept
Millennials, they say.
Oh, zillennials. I never heard of that.
It's something new, apparently.
Okay, so what are your expectations for today?
We had the manifesto launch a week ago in Takoradi. I'm very pumped up for today. I am very excited to hear what the Vice President and incoming President has to tell us. Because this is the first time we're actually going to engage the press and then take their questions so that we can set the record straight on a number of things. I don't know if you've been following us since the manifesto launch. We've been going around trying to, as it were, spread the message of the campaign to every nook and cranny of the country. I think the manifesto is a very loaded document. It's a beautiful blueprint for our progress in the future. So I'm just excited about another opportunity to be able to let people know what's in there.
Okay, so which part of the manifesto excites you and you feel would be in favor for zillennials like you?
Well, I think the whole thing, actually, if you look at it, there's a whole section for women. That is empowering women. Lots of, I hope people can take some time to read about it, down to the land rights that we have, down to structuring the curriculum such that girls are seen more, that they can achieve whatever they want. And as a doctor, there's a lot in the health part too. That's exactly the kind of initiatives we want to see. I don't know if you've heard about the reinstatement of the tax waivers, the import duties we used to enjoy. That unfortunately was taken away by ex-President Mahama. So, I mean, there's a lot to look out forward to. The SME fund, so that the other Gen Z, millennials have access to funds. The fintech fund, which is going to be backed by about $100 million, so that the new chaps in IT will have access to funds to be able to fund their dreams. Because basically what the Vice President Bawumia is saying, what he's trying to do is to create an enabling environment so that businesses can grow and we can create jobs and so that the country can move forward.
Thank you very much for sharing your ideas with us today. Thank you so much. I think we have another zillennial right here. Please may we know your name?
Okay, so I'm Tabitha Apirayene Ayala.
Please amplify your voice.
Tabitha Apirayene Ayala.
Okay.
Yes. And I come from the Upper East region. Well, the time to be specific.
Okay, so I understand that you are here to support His Excellency the Vice President and the flag bearer for the New Patriotic Party. So we'd like to know, what are your impressions on the Vice President?
I think the Vice President comes as someone that resonates not only with the old but also with the youth, okay? I remember when we went to KSTS to launch the manifesto, he made it point blank to the Gen Zs especially, that he is the only one that possesses that key to unlock their potentials and to help them realize their dreams. Okay. We all know that right now in the system that we are running, you can have children as low as 2 years being able to handle a mobile phone and to do things with it. And he said, look, if I become president, I will make sure that I make tech one of my priorities, and I'm going to train majority of these youth in tech so that they will be able to work not only in Ghana but also outside the shores of Ghana. So Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia comes as one that resonates with the elderly and also with the youth. And that is the most exciting thing about him.
Okay, so what are you expecting from Dr. Bawumia this evening?
I expect him to, of course, buttress on our manifesto, also talk about our achievements, and also to handle or do away with some propaganda that is in the media space. I always say, look, media people have a responsibility to the Ghanaian electorate to make a decision between the past and the present.
Okay.
And so when we come, especially as communicators, as much as possible, they should let us account. It shouldn't only come from the government that is in power. It should also come from those that were also in power.
Yeah.
Because they are going to build on that same foundation that they laid. And so we need to understand the kind of foundation that they brought.
All right.
We have a solid foundation, and we intend to continue building on that solid foundation. And I have said this, 8 years ago, most of the first-time voters were young adolescents.
Yeah.
Some were barely 10, some were 11, 12, and so they do not appreciate fully what the NDC took this nation through. And so anytime I get the opportunity, I use it to tell them that, look, you have a phone, just Google 10 years ago, 8 years ago, how was Ghana's situation like? Were we having electricity 24/7? That today, because we have been able to stabilize electricity, they can stand on that and say that they are bringing 24-hour economy. We have built the structures, and we are the only people that can take Ghana to its desired destination.
Thank you very much for sharing your ideas and your expectations.
Thank you for
with
having
us.
me.
Thank you.
For having me.
I don't know if you were millennial or you were Gen Z
I think I fit in between the two generations.
Okay, so then I can say no cap. When I say no cap, do you really understand what
I
you
get
mean?
it.
Okay, so what is your overall view on the manifesto?
Okay, I think that manifestos are generally the social contract between political parties and persons seeking to lead the country with the electorate. So it's essentially supposed to carry the aspirations of the people, the expectations of the people, and how the future looks like. And so for me, I think that it's important that beyond putting out the manifesto, you actually engage major stakeholders. And you agree with me, yeah, just like the 1992 Constitution says, the media in Ghana is the fourth estate of the realm. They actually carry out what the people need to hear in the language they understand, and sometimes in the format that it ought to be carried. And so for me, this exercise is very important. The manifesto generally is good. My point where I really concentrate on is what has to do with the extractive sector. So remember that one of the problems we have had to grapple with when it comes to the exploration of our natural resources, i.e. gold, oil, timber, and whatever, is the fact that almost every time people come in, we give them prospecting license, they go in there, spend lots of money, then they come back to tell us that, okay, we found this thing at point A, B, and C. And then we are on the downside of the negotiation point because they have put in all the necessary resources and done all the preparatory work. So it's more like a take or take kind of agreement. You take whatever they offer you. Now, from the manifesto, Dr. Bawumia is proposing something different. You realize that before this manifesto, every kind of arrangement that we've had in the extractive industry has been Ghana getting some 5% royalties for our gold, and recently we got 10% for the mineral deposit at Bawumia, which is the highest in West Africa and even some parts of Southern America. Now that is not, even though it is impressive, but it's not good enough. Dr. Bawumia is saying that let's go beyond that. Let's take the effort to where it needs to be taken to. So he is proposing that there's going to be the enhancement of our system such that the state can do what we call geological data and survey. So the state will invest funds to actually identify where certain resources are abundant in commercial quantities. That way, if an investor is coming in, the state will rather be the one telling the investor that, okay, if you go to, let's say, this community in Accra, or you go to Fidiakwabre South in the Ashanti region, these coordinates, you find these mineral deposits in commercial quantities. All the environmental impact surveys have been done, all the necessary preparatory works have been done. All you have to do is to move your things on site. That way, the country can negotiate for better returns when it comes to the royalties that we are entitled to, and we will not be sticking to our usual 5% or whatever. And we can actually negotiate for something that I say some 30 to 60%, especially when we are not doing much when it comes to the logistical input. So for me, I think that is one of the ways that we can move our country forward, get enough resources to execute our economic programs and all of that. It's very important for me because no matter the number of policies that you want to put in place as a government, one of the key areas you need to focus on is the revenue generation bit. And so when you have this on stream, we gather our geological data, we do all the necessary environmental impact analysis and what have you, it will be in pole position to harness our resources and gain more from the natural resources that Almighty God has blessed us with from what we currently get. So it's one of the areas I really like when it comes to the manifesto. Then again, I'm also impressed with the parts that talk about the tax reviews. You recall that if you look at the current tax regime, just a few people paying direct taxes, while majority of the people don't pay direct taxes. Now, the first point of call is that how do you convince people to buy into this policy that you were talking about? You convince people by getting them to what we call a common wavelength. Now, we get to this common wavelength with Dr. Bawumia's proposal of a tax amnesty, where we all start from a point zero. So whatever happened before the point zero is erased. Now we move from that point zero, widen the tax net, and you look at some of the taxes that he says he's going to abolish, like the e-levy, like the betting tax, amongst other things. If you look at the numbers that they bring on stream, it runs into about maximum 0.9% of GDP. Mind you, 3% of GDP is about 30 billion Ghana cedis. Now, if you have a tax that gives a number of taxes that give you less than 0.9% of GDP, and then you can expand it, go into a review, abolish those taxes, and your review will guarantee you some 3 to 5% of GDP. In nominal terms, you are getting more by doing away with those ones and introducing new ones. So for me, I agree with that perfectly. But most importantly, he talks about the fact that he's going to review our port charges and the systems there, and he compares it with what happens in Togo. Now, Togo is attracting a lot of business in the West African sub-region because most of the landlocked countries prefer to go through the Togo route because their charges are relatively low. Now, if we're able to get our charges to be even equal to that of Togo, it makes us competitive. Dr. Bawumia is saying that he's going to get us to have port charges that are slightly lower than what is charged in Togo, give us a competitive advantage, attract more business, and it will be a comfort for Ghanaian importers as well. So for me, I think that is the way to go. Find a way of getting more revenue to advance your economic programs and policies, while you look at other interventions, or you look at the social interventions, the health sector, how you're able to get the youth employed. And I'm actually happy about the Youth Abroad Employment Program. And it's not something that cannot be done because it's actually been done before. In 2019, the government of Ghana had an arrangement with the government of Barbados where we shipped off a number of nurses who earned a living, and the state also earned from them. So I think it's good, but most importantly, I'm expecting the journalists here in Garden to ask important questions that would elicit responses that probably the manifesto has not given, because the people out there need to. Voting is actually a matter of choice. People make their choices whether to vote for Bawumia or not based on the message that he's selling to them. It is the duty of the media to actually elicit what is feasible, what is not feasible, and how we can get the electorates informed so that they can make informed decisions. So for me, I'm expecting that tonight will be beautiful and people will be informed.
Thank you so much for sharing these great contributions with us on our set. Thank you very much. we have here?
Oh, well, my name is Frederick Ofiamea.
Okay.
I'm currently the head of information for Ghana's permanent mission to the United Nations, and also a proud member of the NPP's National Communications team.
All right. Okay, so what are your expectations tonight?
Well, as a matter of fact, let me thank the campaign team of His Excellency, the Vice President, who is also the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party, for availing himself to the media, for him to be asked questions. I believe it's something that he has done, because when he's on the trail and when he's engaging the people, the media represents the people. So the very questions that the media will be asking the Vice President or the flag bearer, these questions have been asked by the people already. And when you look at the manifesto of the flag bearer, it's espousing both solutions to our challenges. So what my expectations are will be that they will ask questions that will elicit both solutions to our challenges. I'm expecting the media to ask questions that will ensure that at the end of the day, whatever the man has said that he will do will really manifest, and it will really expose his intention and his clarity of thought as a commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces and the President of the Republic when voted into office in 2025. So I'm expecting some form of engagement that will reveal something deep that we've been hearing already. We don't want the usual, you become the Vice President, why didn't you implement this or that? I think that is basic. We need, questions that are of substance that will bring out the best in the flag bearer of the New Patriotic Party.
What parts of the manifesto excites you most?
To be fair and to be frank and to be honest, brutally honest, every part of it. Every part of it. Because, look, the manifesto is tailored to ensuring that at the end of the day, the challenges that we face, especially post-COVID, okay, and also the Cold War, the Russia-Ukraine war is not just a war between two countries. It's a Cold War. It's a war between European countries and powerful countries. So the manifesto really identifies the challenges we are facing post-COVID and the challenges that are coming as a result of the Cold War. And I believe every aspect of the manifesto addresses that particular problem.
So you made mention of post-COVID impacts on the economy and also the Ukraine and the Russian war. We hear a lot of Ghanaians say, what has that got to do with us? And sometimes I get marveled. Maybe you can enlighten us more on that.
So with regard to the COVID, we all appreciate the cascading effect of it, the economic effect of the COVID, i.e. the global disruption and in international trading. Okay, freight, shipping were all affected. Once upon a time in this country, all planes were grounded. Nothing was moving in and out. I'm talking about airplanes. I'm talking about land trade, because no vehicle was coming in or going out. And even if you look at the current election or campaigning going on in the United States of America, when they are talking about GDP, they talk about post-COVID and pre-COVID. Okay. So the COVID did not just affect a region or a country, it affected the whole globe, the whole world. So it disrupted a lot of economic gains that have been made already and economic activities. And that also cascaded into our rating down, okay, our financial rating down. Then when you talk of the Cold War, as I referred to it, if you look at our net exports, okay, majority of our export goes to the European countries, and these are the regions that are involved in the Cold War. So it creates some sort of disruptions here and there, and that affects our economy. We largely depend on Ukraine for our wheat. We depend on Russia for our oil. We depend on Ukraine and Russia for our fertilizers. All of these things have cascading effect on the economy. So when anybody sits down and say, okay, Russia, Ukraine, and all the COVID, they have huge impact on your economy.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing your
Thanks for having
ideas
me.
with us. You're welcome. here with me.
Yeah,
So I would like to know
Bawumia.
which part of His Excellency's manifesto do you think excites Gen Zs very well?
So when you glance through the 14 major points that he said, especially on the education sector, you see, through his digitalization that he's saying, provision of e-commerce, as he said, in various universities. Example, student day in day out business activities they do on campus. We know most of our ladies do sell on their various WhatsApp platform and stuff.
Yeah.
Introduction of e-commerce. How do these ladies improve to get wider, avenues explored during the education sector?
Yeah.
Also, with the reintroduction of a proper TVS system that you have been seeing. Now we are taking senior high students who are starting engineering from their basic level. I know most of the SHS students have started, moving into the engineering sector, mostly the ladies' schools and many various sectors, proper education into these kind of sectors. So, what's the policy document, that's the 14 major points that His Excellency the Vice President brought, is the best and it's ready for the Gen Zs.
Thank you so much. And I really hope to see the Gen Zs benefiting from His Excellency's policies. Thank you for sharing your ideas.
Thank you
with
very
us.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
as much as possible, we'll give priority to our colleagues from the media to have, it's a media event. So they would have to be seated before the event starts.
Complete the Agenda 111 hospitals, ensuring every district is serviced by a
Colleagues at the
modern
back.
healthcare facility. More doctors, more nurses, and more healthcare professionals are joining the team, backed by improved conditions. Quality healthcare at your doorstep via telehealth and drone deliveries. With the National Electronic Pharmacy Platform, your prescriptions are just a click away.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
Despite fulfilling many of its promises, the NPP seeks to do more to reduce the cost of living. Bawumia and the NPP have got bold solutions.
Food security.
Check.
Affordable, eco-friendly public transport with electric vehicles.
Check.
Housing options for all, plus reduced energy costs through solar power.
Absolutely. We're here to make life easier and more affordable for every Ghanaian.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
All work and no play makes one dull. Under Bawumia's chapter, sports, creative arts and tourism will be turbocharged with state-supported protocol services for sector players. Sports Development Fund, tax incentive, and seamless e-visas. Our creatives get a digital platform, athletes thrive through grassroots programs, and Olympic glory awaits in 2028.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
Picture an economy that isn't just growing, but thriving. In the next 4 years, we're building on our achievements. We'll expand agriculture, mining, and industry.
Emerging sectors.
We're diving in headfirst.
Public-private partnerships.
Absolutely.
Innovation hubs.
You bet. Together, we will fuel Ghana's rebounding economy and unlock fresh opportunities for every Ghanaian.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
Picture an economy that isn't just growing, but thriving.
Leadership by example. This is what Dr. Bawumia promises. Transparent governance. He is selfless, value-driven, and compassionate. He will reduce ministers to 50 and merge agencies with duplicated functions. He will protect our heritage and cultural values and craft a government that serves every citizen with fairness and respect.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
Leadership by example. This is what Dr. Bawumia promises. The NPP has done well to keep our borders and communities safe. Under Bawumia, we will do more. More security persons, more logistics, more housing and military bases to protect our borders. Despite increasing turbulence in West Africa, Ghana has and will remain safe. Let's build a Ghana where fear fades and communities thrive.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
Picture a Ghana where good healthcare isn't just a wish. It's accessible, of good quality and affordable. This is possible. We will complete the Agenda 111 hospitals, ensuring every district is serviced by a modern healthcare facility. More doctors, more nurses, and more healthcare professionals are joining the team, backed by improved conditions. Quality healthcare at your doorstep via telehealth and drone deliveries. With the National Electronic Pharmacy Platform, your prescriptions are just a click away.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
Picture a Ghana where good healthcare isn't just a wish. It's accessible, of good quality and affordable. This is possible. We will complete the Agenda 111 hospitals, ensuring every district is serviced by a modern healthcare facility. More doctors, more nurses, and more healthcare professionals are joining the team, backed by improved conditions. Quality healthcare at your doorstep via telehealth and drone deliveries. With the National Electronic Pharmacy Platform, your prescriptions are just a click away.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
Despite fulfilling many of its promises, the NPP seeks to do more to reduce the cost of living. Bawumia and the NPP have got bold solutions.
Food security.
Check.
Affordable, eco-friendly public transport with electric vehicles.
Check.
Housing options for all, plus reduced energy cost through solar power.
Absolutely. We're here to make life easier and more affordable for every Ghanaian.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
Despite fulfilling many of its promises, the NPP seeks to do more to reduce the cost of living. Bawumia and the NPP have got bold solutions.
Food security.
Check.
Affordable, eco-friendly public transport with electric vehicles.
Check.
Housing options for all, plus reduced energy cost through solar power.
Absolutely. We're here to make life easier and more affordable for every Ghanaian.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
All work and no play makes one dull. Under Bawumia's chapter, sports, creative arts and tourism will be turbocharged with state-supported protocol services for sector players. Sports Development Fund, tax incentive, and seamless e-visas. Our creatives get a digital platform, athletes thrive through grassroots programs, and Olympic glory awaits in 2028.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
All work and no play makes one dull. Under Bawumia's chapter, sports, creative arts and tourism will be turbocharged with state-supported protocol services for sector players. Sports Development Fund, tax incentive, and seamless e-visas. Our creatives get a digital platform, athletes thrive through grassroots programs, and Olympic glory awaits in 2028.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
Picture an economy that isn't just growing, but thriving. In the next 4 years, we're building on our achievements. We'll expand agriculture, mining, and industry.
Emerging sectors.
We're diving in headfirst.
Public-private partnerships.
Absolutely.
Innovation hubs.
You bet. Together, we will fuel Ghana's rebounding economy and unlock fresh opportunities for every Ghanaian.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
In the next chapter, Ghana will be a place where every student thrives. We will expand educational horizons.
Student accommodation.
Check. We will provide scholarships for students with disabilities and expand the accessible post-secondary loans.
Applying to tertiary institutions.
Seamless. One application, one payment. Our transformative free SHS TVET program is rock solid.
Educational infrastructure.
Growing.
Teachers.
Better supported. Let's build an education system that leaves no one behind.
Vote for Bawumia. Bawumia means business.
Our media friends, media brothers and sisters from across the country. We have media in the capital, in the Greater Accra region. We have our friends from the OT region, the Volta region, Upper East, Upper West, Savannah, Northern region, Bono East, Bono